The story of Roman Reigns' comeback has been entertaining to watch thus far, but the main concern that keeps coming up is the whereabouts of the other original Bloodline members. The fact that Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns did not make a comeback at SummerSlam disappointed some fans. The fact that Jimmy USO failed to protect Roman from Jacob disappointed some fans. Paul Heyman just made a significant appearance on Sam Roberts' show at Fanatics Fest, and he gave a clear explanation for why he hasn't returned. Some of the things he stated also helped to explain why the original Bloodline members haven't yet joined Roman's story. Regarding why he hasn't yet appeared on WWE television with Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman stated, quote, "I don't want to do is just be on television for the sake of being on television. Every action we take needs to have a purpose. That is the Island of Relevancy's entire premise. It would have been meaningless if I had returned at SummerSlam as Roman Reigns. I had nothing to add to that particular occasion. There would have been nothing for me to do if Roman Reigns and I had returned on television last week. Okay, so I could have introduced him, but that's just a moment, and it doesn't last forever. It all comes down to the old adage, winning and losing matters. Under the tribal chief's directives, upon my return to television. Should I return to television? When I do, that will be the beginning of a plot that will last a full year. When it is appropriate for me to return, I will. When I am required to return, when I can contribute to Roman Reigns rather than merely riding his coattails and basking in his fame. I genuinely adore Jimmy Hart. Although I greatly admire Jimmy Hart, I would never want to be Jimmy Hart's bodyguard for Hulk Hogan. I want to do something so significant to the performance that you will sit there and exclaim, 'Oh my God, I love Roman Reigns,' with the Wiseman Paul Heyman." Final quotation. Paul Heyman thus provided a clear explanation and validated what some fans had already assumed. Paul Heyman's comeback is being held for a pivotal time in which his persona directly affects the primary plot. Paul Heyman would have felt a little empty if he had returned for SummerSlam or made an appearance at the final few SmackDowns because there wasn't much for him to do. He would have been only observing from ringside, making no genuine contribution to the narrative. He would have been following in Roman's footsteps and essentially serving as Roman's prop and cheerleader. Thus, without giving anything away, Heyman essentially gave away how he will make his WWE television comeback. Paul Heyman stated that he will make a comeback at a pivotal moment in the plot where his character can have a significant impact. Furthermore, Paul Heyman cannot influence the plot by helping Roman Reigns physically because he is not a working superstar. But Heyman's real strength lies in his ability to pull strings behind the scenes with the management people to get things done for Roman. He's also a general wise man who gives excellent advice. That seems to be the path Heyman was suggesting, and that will be the way he makes his WWE television comeback. When Roman determines that this is the right place to arrange a meeting between Solo, Jacob, or any other new Bloodline member, that's most likely when he calls Paul Heyman to arrange a meeting with Nick Aldis. Paul Heyman said over and over that his comeback has to have a direct narrative impact. Paul Heyman can't physically harm Solo Sikoa, so that's a given. However, Heyman's character could get some justice by telling Solo Sikoa that he spoke with Nick Aldis to arrange a match between Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns with all Bloodline members barred from the arena, or something similar. Something similar would be perfect for the premise in which Heyman is the one who sets up his bout against Roman Reigns, personally influencing the plot and exacting revenge on Solo Sikoa. Paul Heyman might therefore resume his weekly appearances with Roman Reigns as soon as he makes an announcement of that nature that significantly impacts the storyline of his comeback. Thus, it is precisely how Paul Heyman's impending comeback will unfold. He is about to return with a major statement or revelation that will completely change Solo Sikoa's story. And there are countless options. Perhaps it's to declare the Roman vs. Solo battle that we already discussed. Perhaps it's to disclose that he's been covertly enlisting Jimmy USO all along, and Heyman comes back with Jimmy. Alternatively, it might be something different, such as Heyman orchestrating a deal to bring Jay and Sami back to SmackDown. That's what Heyman means when he talks about his character having a direct impact on the narrative. Making a trade and pulling some more strings, getting Jimmy back, or coming up with a match plan for Nick Aldis. There is little doubt that Paul Heyman will make a huge comeback, and he has confirmed it himself, so keep an eye out for his significant comeback. However, what do you think of the stories from today? Please feel free to comment below, subscribe with all notifications enabled, and hit like if you liked it. I appreciate you all watching, folks. Fans were raving about Rhea Ripley and Jey Uso so much that it eventually made it to Monday Night Raw, so let's see what all the fuss is about. In actuality, this began several weeks before to SummerSlam. Jey Uso moved and took a shot at Rhea Ripley after seeing the breakdown of her and Dominic's relationship, as her character was now unmarried. When Rhea hinted that she had given Jey Uso her number, the scenario would garner additional attention. And because of the most recent Fanatics Fest event, this situation had gained some attention once more. Rhea gathered 71 fan-made bracelets during this event. Some of the bracelets had Jey's name and catchphrase emblazoned on them. Then, Rhea would wear a few of the bracelets with Jey Uso themes to the Raw backstage area. Jey uploaded a photo to his Instagram story of Rhea looking amazing in his braces. In response, Rhea Ripley recorded a video of the Raw sign backstage, highlighting and enlarging on the detail of how close Rhea and Jey were to one another on the image. All of this anticipation culminated on August 19 when Raw airs live, to the chants of the audience, who were desperate for Jey Uso to show up and save Rhea and Damian from the day of reckoning. Given all of the back and forth between Jey and Rhea on social media, it's reasonable for supporters to believe so, but Jey's decision to make the save there doesn't really make sense. Despite his affection on Rhea, he isn't overly concerned about the circumstance. He already has a lot on his plate because he is concentrated on the Intercontinental title event and may have the Bloodline reunion soon. Although it doesn't seem like he's going to completely support their battle against the Judgment Day, maybe WWE will capitalize on the excitement around Jey and Rhea with a backstage segment. Given all of the back and forth between Jey and Rhea on social media, it's reasonable for supporters to believe so, but Jey's decision to make the save there doesn't really make sense. Despite his affection on Rhea, he isn't overly concerned about the circumstance. He already has a lot on his plate because he is concentrated on the Intercontinental title event and may have the Bloodline reunion soon. Although it doesn't seem like he's going to completely support their battle against the Judgment Day, maybe WWE will capitalize on the excitement around Jey and Rhea with a backstage segment.